Hello everyone and welcome to my May book haul. So I'm going to section these out as far as how I sourced these books and go from there. So this first section I'm going to do books that came in some sort of a book subscription service, okay? Or like an author's book box, okay? So the first one, I am a member of Willow Winter's Patreon, and I signed up to do the paperback discreet version. So those are the ones that are sent. They've been behind and backlogged. So I had a couple of months worth come in, and I think they are caught up now. So I'm not sure. One of these was for so I have two of them here. One of these is for April and one for May. I don't know which is which, but they both came in this month. So I'm going to go with this top one. The discreet for the Patreon comes with silver foiling. Now the discreet doesn't have any image other than like a flower right here. So this one is the name of the couple, which is Graham and Maddie. This one was written, co-authored by Willow Winters and Amelia. It's either Wilde or Wilde. I don't know how to pronounce this author's last name. I've heard it pronounced both ways for someone with the spelling. Like I had a health teacher in junior high spelled the same way, but he pronounced it Wilde. And other people I hear pronounce it Wilde. So however it is. So, and then the edges are sprayed to match the cover. And then it just says the discreet series in silver foiling there. You can kind of see it flashing a little bit. There you go. And then silver there on the spine. The discreet series, this is the one thing about Willow Winter's discreet series that I absolutely love, is the title is on the inside, and the page next to the title is the synopsis page. So this book, and I'll insert an image so you can see it because you don't see anything there. The image is sealed with a kiss, is the book. And it says, "We made a deal, one I thought I'd never make. I'm trying not to judge myself, but it's a bit shameful. Rent was due and I simply didn't have it. I love the big city and I've done everything I could to make it. But after a rough few years, a breakup that nearly destroyed me, and a personal issue that I just can't talk about, I'm broke and hit rock bottom. Then there's Graham. Richer than most could ever imagine, devilishly handsome with a charming smile and a sparkle in his eyes that I swear is just for me. He owns the building, and now once a month when the rent is due, he gets a piece of me I can't believe I agreed to give. His lips on mine are addictive, and the way he groans my name in pleasure is scorched into my memory. We sealed it with a kiss, and I'm all too aware that the next rock bottom for me will lead to nothing but despair and a broken heart." And Willow Winters has said herself on a lot of her reels on whether it's Instagram or YouTube that they are all spicy. So the color of the book, like this, will be more lighthearted, maybe something more along the lines of small town, so there's not going to be as many trigger warnings, where this next one, where it's darker, is going to have a lot more trigger warnings. So this next one, the characters are Vince and Elle. I have already read this book because I did purchase this one before it came in the discreet series. So I now have two copies of the Vince and Elle and the discreet, but the one I have does not have the sprayed edges or the silver on there. So again, Vince and Elle. This is number 2 in the Valetti crime family. This is a mafia romance. These next few that I'm going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep. So I do have all 6. The next 6 I'm going to show you came in my Romance Reveal monthly book subscription service. And this first one is part of the Valentine's Bay series, and this one is Perfect for You by Samantha Leigh. He's a small town cop with absolutely no game. She's a pro poker player who doesn't like to lose. Lucky for him, the girl next door is an excellent teacher. Isaac Green is a 20-something bachelor looking for love, but when another woman dumps him square in the friend zone, it's time to admit he's got no idea what he's doing. Isaac needs help, and he's got 2 options. 1. Join the Bay's super secret senior citizen romance readers book club and hope a bunch of randy octogenarians can give him some tips. Or 2, risk total humiliation and let the sexy sassy gambler next door, Bertie Maxwell, rate his moves. Like the idiot he is, he does both. In no time at all, Isaac is the book club's most enthusiastic member, and Bertie is his willing and very able test subject. As their sessions together get hotter, so does the draw between them until they're breaking all the rules, and not only in the bedroom. As walls around Bertie's heart tumble faster than a house of cards, Isaac can't shake the feeling that this is more than just a game. But Bertie's poker face rarely slips. She insists their relationship is just one friend helping another. Yet Isaac knows what they've got is too perfect to leave on the table. He's not the kind of guy who makes or takes a bet, but what choice does he have when this woman holds his heart in her hands? The stakes are set, the cards are dealt, and this time Isaac's all in. Bertie Maxwell, he's about to call your bluff. So, perfect for you. Next, I have Keep Vegas, written by Kelly Kay. Tony has almost rolled through 3 wives in 10 years, but no one has ever challenged, intrigued, or turned on Tony Ladd like the girl from a decade ago. An unlikely witch put a spell on him that's never been broken. Mackenzie never goes out anymore. She's too busy turning her life into something she can finally be proud of. But in those sparse, quiet moments, she lets herself daydream about those 3 months in Paris when the possibilities seemed endless and there was love in her life. There was a brave king who wanted her as his queen. But life isn't a fairy tale, and no amount of wishing can make it come true. But can one night in Vegas change everything? Beyond the bright lights, old lies, and way too much alcohol, there might still be love if life and circumstance don't get in the way again. As the sun comes up over the desert, perhaps it really is a new day. They may find a way to keep each other forever this time, or they may only get to keep Vegas. So, next I have My Darling Bride, written by Isla Madden-Mills, or Isla Madden-Mills. I'm not quite sure how to say the name, but this is what it looks like. Fake it till you make it. On a normal day, Emmeline Darling isn't a car thief. She's just a simple girl who runs a bookstore and adores cats. But when she's stranded in the desert and needs to get away from her dangerous ex-boyfriend, she picks her only option, swiping the keys to a famous football player's Lamborghini and speeding away. Football star Graham Harlan is in chaos. First, he took a hit on the field that left him with a near-death experience. And now he's promised his brother he'll get married to secure the family inheritance. Trouble is, he isn't even seeing anyone. Then a mystery woman steals his car. With his usual stubbornness, he tracks her all the way to Manhattan and gives her an ultimatum. Marry me or I'll press charges. Her choice is obvious. Only neither of them expect the sparks that ignite between them. As the end of their arrangement looms, will Graham take a chance on love or let his darling walk away forever? Next I have Cowboy Boots and Stilettos, Finding Love in Unexpected Places. This is written by Kathleen Kelly. She cannot stay. That's the rule that Harper has always lived by, ever since her parents' nasty divorce. Harper Lewis decided that no one would make her experience that, no matter how in love she was. So she doesn't stay. Harper's a corporate consultant, which allows her to move from state to state, never allowing her to stay long enough to get hurt. However, things take a significant turn when she goes to Dallas to work for Parker Oil and Gas. She meets the tall, handsome, and egomaniac JP. At least that's what she believes. Harper mistakes JP for her assistant and not the company's vice president. Despite their horrible start, Harper soon grows feelings for Jackson while attending a company hunt at the Parker family ranch. She quickly realizes that Jackson isn't the playboy that she thinks he is. As the two grow closer, she wants much more. But she can't stay. She can't fall in love. Or can she? Can she make her choice to stay? Oh, can he make her choose to stay? Either way, that sentence would work, but yeah. Next, I have Very Bad Things by Alexis Winter. This is part of a billionaire romance series. I think the series is actually titled something else, but it is a billionaire romance. Anyway, so Very Bad Things. He said he wants to do bad things to me. Very bad things. The first time I met single dad Weston Vaughn, I thought it was my meet cute. I was in Paris, looking to start over, and he was right in the path of my hot coffee. But it turns out my knight in shining armor was just a grumpy billionaire in a custom suit. After a nightmare year of losing not only my fiancé and my mother, I'm in desperate need of a fresh start. And what better way than to land a teaching job at the prestigious Crestwood Academy in Chicago? I imagine my surprise, though, when the handsome stranger I accidentally assaulted in front of the Eiffel Tower turns out to be the father of one of my students. The same stranger that made me miss my flight back home from Paris and is now standing in my classroom lecturing me. He might be devilishly handsome, but no amount of good looks can make up for his arrogant and bossy attitude. It takes everything I have to plaster on a smile and deal with his antics, but the school is in desperate need of his participation in our annual silent auction, and I'm tasked with getting him on board. But when he shows up on my doorstep, desperate for a babysitter, I agree. If only that was the last favor he demands of me. Next thing I know, I'm flying to the Bahamas on a private jet with him and his daughter and sailing off into the sunset on his private yacht. Soon, our back and forth banter goes from scorching jabs to fiery passion. He pushes my boundaries in ways I never imagined, ways that have me ready to throw caution to the wind and jump in with both feet. And while falling in love again is the furthest thing from my mind, a summer fling might be just what I need. Instead, I'm flung right into some dangerous drama that sees me getting fired from my dream job and shadows from Weston's past reappearing. So when I decide I need space and a fresh start, he gives me 1 week before he shows up at my apartment and demands we stay together. One thing I've learned about Weston Vaughn, he doesn't negotiate. He gets what he wants, no matter the cost, even if what he wants is me pregnant. Next up, I have Dimitri by Cala Riley. So this one has 2 POVs on the back. So we have Ivana and then Dimitri. So underneath Ivana, it says, being the Petrov Bratva princess isn't all it's cracked up to be. Instead of freedom, I'm locked in a gilded cage with him as a warden. Dimitri is not only my personal guard, but he happens to be my brother's best friend and my unrequited childhood crush. To make matters worse, he imposes all these stifling rules on me. I've had enough. When I make a drastic decision to finally seek my freedom, it sends him in a tailspin. Will I survive the carnage in its wake? And now underneath Dimitri, it says, when my best friend became Pakhan of the Petrov Bratva, he made me his second in command and entrusted me with the most important task, protect his sister at all costs. Ivana isn't the little girl she once was, though. She's turned into an obsession that I've never allowed myself to indulge in, until she's decided she's had enough. She wants to be married off to some stranger, but I won't allow it. The only way I'll let her go is in death. This next one I subscribed to the Probably Smut book club, so you get a special edition book every month. And the book for this month is Whistleblower by Kay Cove. And I like this cover much better than the original cover. So this is the cover. The unfortunate thing with this one, the only thing on the back, it says, you be the light in this dark, depressing world. Let me be the big bad wolf. There's no synopsis on the back. So I do have the synopsis pulled up on my phone from Goodreads. So I'm going to read from here and I'll hold this up. Underneath Eden, it says, where I come from, there's no forgiveness for a whistleblower, even if I saved countless lives. Unemployed with a wrecked reputation, my only option is a pity job as a leadership consultant for a secret government-employed team of assassins. After moving clear across the country, I thought I'd feel safe from the ones who want revenge for my so-called valor. But then I meet him, Link, the ghost in the shadows, who will never be safe for the hero he is. I should probably be intimidated by the most lethal assassin Paladin employs, except the monster has the kindest eyes when he's looking at me. Still, the question remains of who I should fear more, the ones who are after me or the ones who promised to protect me. And now underneath Link, it says, I love the way she screams my name, but I like how she whispers it too. I vowed to never get attached, but Eden has a hold on me that no one has before. She's the light, and until her, I didn't realize how lonely the darkness is. Forget Paladin's rules. I refuse to let her go. I finally found what's precious to me, and now I have to keep her close. Defend her fiercely. She's mine to pleasure and protect, and whoever keeps threatening Eden's life is going to lose theirs. Now these next ones, these next 5 are all from one author. I bought the whole series, and so it came in a box. Obviously it came in a box, but it came with some extra goodies too. But this is all one series, and these are companion books because when I read the synopsis on these all follow different characters. So these are going to be companion ones, and this is the Rebel Lust Taboo series. I have Casey's Secrets, and these are all by Ophelia Bell. Max has been Casey's, I don't know, Casey's, I'm going to say Casey. Max has been Casey's hero for years, ever since marrying Casey's mother. His only flaw is how rigid he is about the rules as long as Casey still lives at home. After missing curfew one night, he won't let her off lightly. She must choose between being grounded for the summer or enduring a single spanking that will free her to enjoy her vacation. Casey makes her choice, but neither she nor Max are prepared for the domino effect a few smacks to her backside will have, or to the dark secrets that will be revealed as a result. Max's past comes back to haunt him in a big way. Casey is a handful, but his old life as part of a 2-man team of doms provides the perfect skills to handle the curious, headstrong young woman with a taste for the taboo. And he and his best friend Rick are the perfect men to give Casey guidance and help her safely explore her dark cravings. But when Max betrays her and Rick refuses to touch her without Max's permission, Casey despairs that she'll ever have them both again. Casey's education into her new taboo lifestyle isn't over yet, but her 2 favorite doms might need a life educating of their own. Next one is called Blackmailing Benjamin. Kat was raised with Ben, who is one of the biggest jerks she's ever known. She's had to endure his ridicule for a decade, and to top it off, their parents seem to love him more. So when she catches him in a compromising position during a college frat party, she takes advantage of it, threatening to tell their parents his dirty little secrets in exchange for one tiny favor. Ben gives into Kat's blackmail, but in the process, Kat finds herself in a situation she never expected she'd be in. She definitely didn't expect to enjoy it so much, and she absolutely never expected to want more. Next, from Ophelia Bell, I have Burying His Desires. A 3 a.m. call is never good news, and for college student Brianna Vale, it's the worst. Michael, the man who helped raise her, is on the other end, relaying a tragedy that will tear her entire world apart. In the midst of grief, Brianna and Michael struggle to pick up the pieces, but the old pieces don't quite fit together the way they used to. She's no longer the little girl Michael helped her mother raise. Michael is still her hero, but looks at her in a way that entices overwhelming desires for the only man who can keep her whole in the aftermath of her mother's death. What's worse is that she might be the only person who can keep him whole too. But her mother had secrets that Brianna is barely prepared to unearth, and when she does, she discovers a second man who is just as broken by the loss. This secret lover knew a darker side of Brit's mother, and was left in the cold after her death. Brianna and Michael might be the only ones who can make him whole again. How far will the trio go to put the pieces back together? This one is Doubling Down. When my best friend Casey ghosted me for an entire summer, my life took a crazy turn. So crazy, I think I might have just circled back to our last conversation the night after she popped her cherry with 2 honest-to-God doms. Now I really need to talk to her because I think for the first time I might be able to one-up her in the kink department. Spoiler alert, I have my own pair of kinky guys now too. The twist? Mine are twins. Reuniting with them after 3 years apart is more mind-blowing than I can imagine. We are no longer innocent, limited by circumstances, and they've been busy inventing and building the most epic sex toy I've ever seen. When a sexy venture capitalist arrives to invest in the twins' fancy sex machine, all 3 of us are in a run for our money. Not only does the investor want to gamble to the tune of millions for the plans, he wants to own it. And he's willing to invest even more to have the inventors and their girlfriend. And the last one that I have here by Ophelia Bell is The Queen's Knights. Still reeling in the aftermath of sexual assault, Dr. Gwen Brennan struggles with feelings of powerlessness until she joins the Whitewood Club's masquerade night. There, she reigns supreme, and it is only by her grace that anyone is allowed to touch her. When a mysterious masked man steals her heart, she's left with a choice. Does she take a chance on forging a new relationship, or does she retreat to the arms of her stalwart bodyguard? Can she have both? These next 6 books that I have right here are all part of a series. Now, with the 6 books that I showed you from my Romance Reveal book box, some of those were the first in the series, some were later on in the series. And this book is the case where the book that I got from Romance Reveal was later on in the series. So because it is part of a series, I went ahead and ordered the first book so I can start with book number 1. So, book number 1 that I'm referring to is Dirty Little Secret by Alexis Winter. This is a billionaire boss romance. And this one says, I'm the type of man that gets what I want. Hell, I didn't become a billionaire before 45 by playing by the rules. But then she waltzed into my life. Ren Adler, my head of PR and the star of every one of my dirty fantasies. She's driven, fiery, and more than 10 years younger than me. In other words, she's off effing limits. But when a psycho stalker starts to terrorize her and her narcissistic ex keeps making mysterious appearances in her life, the only way I could make sure she stays safe was to have her move in with me. So now I'm not just tortured at work, but every night as she permeates every inch of my life. I've been a saint for 3 years. I've kept my hands off her curvaceous body and my filthy thoughts to myself. Until last night when she asked if I had any dirty little secrets and my resolve finally snapped. I should have walked away. I shouldn't have tasted her. I shouldn't have let my hands roam, and I sure as hell shouldn't have told her to grab the headboard. Instead, I finally let myself indulge in the ultimate fantasy of pretending she's mine. Now she thinks that she's my dirty little secret, but the truth is, I'm not only lying to her, I'm lying to myself. I have to decide to take a chance on finally getting what I want or walking away forever. Next, I have book number 3 in a series I am absolutely loving, and that is the Housewitch series. There are actually 4 books. I have ordered the 4th one. I'm not sure when it will arrive, but obviously after I have filmed this haul. So this is book number 3. This is by Delemhach, and I love with this series. So I'm going to read the synopsis of this one. You'll just have to, if you don't want to hear the synopsis for this 3rd book, just skip ahead until you see me holding up a different book. Housewitch Finley Ashowan is pulled out of the kitchen and into the fire as war, family, and love collide. Having somehow convinced Lady Anika Janur to marry him, all Finley Ashowan wants to do is settle down to cook some good meals and enjoy a quiet life in Daxaria. But fate has different plans. Finn's father, Aiden Helmer, Fire Witch and servant of King Matthias of Trebach, has arrived in the kingdom with devastating news. Anika's brother Charles has been taken prisoner, and the only way his life will be spared is if Anika or Finn goes to plead his case. Given that an attack from Trebach is imminent, there's no way some trickery isn't involved in this plot. Now it's up to Finn, with the help of his family, friends, and wily kitten familiar Kraken, to attempt a daring mission of rescue and espionage. But he'll need to move quickly, because if he can't find a way to fend off his father and keep Daxaria safe, all his dreams might go up in flames. It says, with twists and turns around every corner, The Housewitch 3 brilliantly concludes this irresistible trilogy, replete with romance, magic, courtly intrigue, mystery, and humor. So I guess it's officially a trilogy, but there is a 4th book. But it's like the Princess of something, so it's probably like a prequel type thing, or maybe like a years later epilogue type book situation, but officially it's a trilogy. And I love this, and I will be collecting all these books. There's another series called like The Fire Witch or something like that by Delemhach, and I will be getting those ones. So I'm just trying to teach myself restraint to get one book at a time, which did not happen with these next 2 books. So there's a book that I read in May for Horror Mayhem, and it was book 1 in a series. And so then I ordered book number 2, and then I saw there was a prequel, so then I had to order the prequel. So now I've got the whole series. This series is by Roma Gray. So the prequel is Jurassic Jackaroo. It says this is a Hunted Tribe prequel. Jasper's Junction, Roma Gray. This one says, oh, and this one looks like it might be, this one's very Western themed on the back. I know in June there's a Western readathon where the goal is to just read Western. I'm curious, would this work, or is this, because the one that I read, The Hunted Tribe, is tagged as a horror. So I'm wondering if this is a Western horror. I don't know. I'm going to look on this. Let's see. It doesn't have any tags, so I don't know. We'll see. It says, how does the greatest gunslinger of Old West end his career? By hunting a dinosaur animal spirit. Of course. See, that's giving me Western vibes just from that. Carl Redgrave has big plans for his retirement party. He's bringing together the world's greatest criminals, murderers, warriors, and assassins to hunt something worthy of them all. A highly intelligent, 7-foot-tall dinosaur spirit, known to the natives as the Grishla. Of course, Carl wants only the best on his safari, so he has pitted these men against each other in a deadly contest in an old ghost town, with 5 winners securing a place in the hunt. Who will live? Who will win? And if they win, can they survive the final confrontation with the beast? So that's the prequel for The Hunted Tribe. Now, book number 2 in The Hunted Tribe is called Rocket's Red Glare. That's the subtitle. And this is book 2. This is like dinosaur horror. Who is the killer? A monster or Sean Wolf's own grandmother? Greg Redcrow is dead and someone killed him. Sean's mentally ill grandmother claims it was the Grishla, a dinosaur animal spirit hell-bent on destroying Sean, his family, and the entire Donake tribe. She also claims he is the Ultra Witch, the most powerful witch ever born, who is destined to slay the beast. But that's just one of her delusions, right? The more Sean investigates, the more he doubts everything he has been told, as well as his own sanity. Someone is drugging his food, his friends are starting to act strange, and all the while, the clock is ticking down to the day he has to return home. If he leaves, who will take care of his grandmother as her illness progresses? Even worse, if she did indeed murder Greg, will she kill again? A terrible dread begins to seep into his bones, and he can almost see the red glare of doom on his horizon. And these next 2 books are the same situation with the first book that I showed you in this recent one, where the books from my Romance Reveal book box were later on in the series. Could be book 2, could be book 5, whatever it is. So these next 2 are, one is the first book in the series, and one is the first book in the series before the spin-off series that I got, if that makes sense. So it's like 3 books, 4 books, and then there's a spin-off series type of a situation. And that's the case for this one, Ready for You by Samantha Leigh. So this is the first book that one of the books from my Romance Reveal is the first book in a spin-off series. So I wanted to get the original series first. She's a jilted bride who needs to heal, not a damsel looking for a hero, no matter how good he is with his hands. Emily Jones ran away to Valentine Bay looking for a place to hide from her cheating ex. She didn't expect the scumbag to follow her, or for the small town's beautiful, brooding bachelor to swoop in and save her dignity by posing as her new fiancé. But Joshua Ford, surfer god with a hero complex, is haunted by his past, and he's determined to leave it behind. So they make a deal. As soon as her ex gets the message and gets lost, Josh and Emily will go their separate ways. In the meantime, where's the harm in a little misbehavior between the sheets or on the dining table? The first time is so delicious they go back for seconds and thirds, until their cravings wreak havoc on both their broken hearts. With Emily's chance at happiness pinned on a man not ready to fall in love, she has to wonder, where's a hero when you really need one? Okay, this next one is first in a series. From the Romance Reveal, I got like the second one, and this one is Keep Paris. So I read the Keep Vegas. This one's book number 1, which is Keep Paris. Tensions have never been higher. Again, still by Kelly Kay. And you know the best way to relieve tension. Paris is the perfect place for first love, but when it doesn't turn out the way you thought, perhaps Paris is better left in the past. 2 rivals vying for one job, and this is an all-out war. The battles are getting more intense, but so are their feelings. Perhaps signing up her perhaps signing her up with beananny.com or registering him with the Scientologists is child's play compared to what they really want to do to each other. Hayden rarely hears the word no, especially from women, with two exceptions, one from his past and one from the present. He always gets what he wants. Betty hates Hayden Corelli almost more than the boy who broke her heart into a million pieces 10 years ago, but this is different. The teasing is relentless, and the pranks have been clever, but she needs to focus on winning the job. He may have won a battle or two, but this is war. Driven by her ultimate heartache of Danny Danson and the 12 weeks they spent falling in fated love in Paris, she feels her need for success. Between wanting to bury Hayden Corelli and forget Danny, she repeats her mantra often, a play on a famous movie line, "We'll always have Paris." Well, screw that, he can keep Paris. And Hayden, well, he needs to keep out of her way and out of her thoughts. Okay, this next little bit here, there are 6 books here. These are ones, so I did not know, so May, here in the United States, we celebrated Mother's Day. I had no idea what to get my mom for Mother's Day. So we had decided that I would take her to Barnes & Noble, treat her to a couple of books, and go from there. And then she decided, because she has arthritis in her hands, she also has a cataract in one of her eyes, it's harder to read a physical book. So she just asked for an Amazon gift card to be able to purchase some books for her Kindle so she can increase the size, because larger print books are harder to find and they're more expensive. So she wanted to be able to get some books so she can increase the size to where she can see it and it's easier on her hands to hold. So that's what we did. But I still wanted to go to Barnes & Noble. So that's what we did. Just had fun browsing. She's only used the gift card to Amazon, and I bought physical books from Barnes & Noble. So I got a cozy mystery. I'm starting to crave some cozy mysteries here. And these are all the first books in a series. And this one is Murder at the Beacon Bookshop. This is a Beacon Bookshop mystery written by Darci Hannah. So this is the cozy mystery series. And it says, after catching her celebrity chef fiance sizzling in the arms of another woman, Lindsay Bakewell left big city Wall Street for small town Beacon Harbor, Michigan, to pursue her own passion as a pastry baker, and she gets mixed up in someone's sweet taste of revenge. More interested in kneading dough than adding it up, Lindsay's breakup inspired her to set up the shop she always wanted in a place that always made her happy. She'd spent many childhood summers near this beach community, and converting the old run-down lighthouse into a bakery, cafe, and home offers a perfect fresh start for Lindsay and her devoted Newfoundland dog, Wellington. But not everyone in town has a sweet tooth. The Preservation Society won't have the lighthouse's history sugar-coated by lattes and cakes, and a protest group crashes Lindsay's Memorial Day opening. Then her ex-fiancé, Jeffrey Plank, and his girlfriend, Mia Long, arrive to trash the place. In the ensuing chaos, Mia chokes on a donut and dies. An autopsy reveals cyanide in Mia's bloodstream, and Lindsay is the police's prime suspect. To clear her name, she's going to need to combine ingredients found in the town's checkerboard past to uncover the identity of a desperate killer. So, the other cozy mystery I got is book 1 in a Beyond the Page bookstore mystery. So this one's a book about books. And I don't see, usually there's an animal companion on the cover. I don't see an animal companion on this one. Anyway, this is called Murder by the Book by Lauren Elliott. Addie Grayborn loved working with rare books at the Boston Public Library. She even got to play detective, tracking down clues about mysterious old volumes, but she didn't expect her sleuthing skills to come in so handy in a little seaside town. Addie left some painful memories behind in the big city, including the unsolved murder of her fiancé and her father's fatal car accident. After an unexpected inheritance from a great aunt, she's moved to a small New England town founded by her ancestors back in colonial times, and living in spacious Greybourne Manor on a hilltop overlooking the harbor. Best of all, her aunt also left her countless first editions of other treasures, providing an inventory to start her own store. But there's trouble from day one, and not just from the grumpy woman who runs the bakery next door. A car nearly runs Addie down. Someone steals a copy of Alice in Wonderland. Then Addie's friend Serena, who owns a nearby tea shop, is arrested for killing another local merchant. The police seem pretty sure they've got the story in hand, but Addie's not going to let them close the book on the case without a fight. Next, I have Revelation Space by Alistair Reynolds. Let's see. 900,000 years ago, something annihilated the Amaratan civilization, just as it was on the verge of discovering spaceflight. Now, one scientist, the brilliant and ruthless Dan Sylvestre, will stop at nothing to solve the mystery of the ancient civilization's disappearance. But the Amaratan were destroyed for a reason. And if that reason is uncovered, the universe and reality itself could be irrevocably altered. That's all I know. And it sounds good. And I do like the simplicity of the cover. Next up, I have, and I've seen this cover floating around a lot. This is book 1 in a trilogy, and I really like this cover. And it's Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. And this is book number 1 in the Souls trilogy. Let's see. A college student has unleashed an irresistible darkness, a soul-hungry demon who might be her only chance at survival in the dark romance series by TikTok sensation Harley LaRue. Okay. Underneath Leon, it says, "My reputation among magicians is unblemished. Killer, they call me. Killing is what I'm best at. One wrong move and you're dead. Except her. The one I was supposed to take. The one I should have killed. The cult that once controlled me wants her, but I'm not about to lose my new toy to them." And then underneath Ray, it says, "I've always believed in the supernatural. Hunting for ghosts is my passion, but summoning a demon was never part of the plan. Monsters are roaming the woods, and something ancient, something evil, is waking up and calling my name. I don't know who I can trust or how deep this darkness goes. All I know is my one shot at survival is the demon stalking me, and he doesn't just want my body, he wants my soul." Next up, I have Delicate Condition by Danielle Valentine. And it says on the back that this is a tense psychological thriller. Anna Alcott is desperate to have a family, but as she tries to balance her life as an indie actress with a grueling IVF journey, she starts to suspect that someone is going to great lengths to make sure that never happens. Crucial medicines are lost, appointments get swapped, cryptic warnings have her jumping at shadows, and despite everything she's gone through to make this pregnancy a reality, not even her husband is willing to believe that someone is playing twisted games with her. Then her doctor claims she's had a miscarriage, except Anna's convinced she's still pregnant, despite everything the grave-faced men around her say. She can feel the baby moving inside her. She can see the strain it's taking on her weakening body. Vague warnings become direct threats, and as her symptoms and sense of danger grow ever more horrifying, Anna can't help but wonder what exactly she's carrying inside of her, and why no one will listen when she says something is horribly, painfully wrong. And the last one I got from that Mother's Day trip is One of Us Knows by Alyssa Cole, and this says that this one's a thriller. Years after a breakdown and a diagnosis of dissociative identity disorder derailed her historical preservationist career, Kenitra Nash and her alters have been given a second chance they can't refuse, a position as resident caretaker of a historic home. Having been dormant for years, Ken has no idea what led them to this isolated Hudson River island, but she's determined not to ruin their opportunity. Then, a surprise visit from the home's conservation trust let me start that sentence over. Then a surprise visit from the home's conservation trust just as a nor'easter bears down on the island disrupts her newfound life, leaving Ken trapped with a group of possibly dangerous strangers, including the man who brought her life tumbling down years earlier. When he turns up dead, Ken is the prime suspect. Caught in a web of secrets and in a race against time, Ken and her alters must band together to prove their innocence and discover the truth of Kavanaugh Island and their own past, or they risk losing not only their future, but their life. And this is the first one that I will, whenever it is that I pick it up, unless I find one sooner. But as of right now, this is the first one that I'm reading the synopsis for, where we are following someone that has dissociative identity disorder. So I think that'll be interesting. And these next two are both from a book club. I'm slowing down on getting books for book clubs because I want to, one, get kind of caught up with a couple of things. And two, some of these book clubs have been kind of hit or miss, and so I'm trying to be a bit more selective. Now this particular book club, out of like the 6 or 8, I don't remember which one, I have to like go through my notebook. But I have enjoyed every book I've picked up for this book club so far, so I'm going to continue to pick up the selections for this particular group. The New Couple in 5B by Lisa Unger. So, a couple inherits an apartment with a spine-tingling past in this haunted and propulsive thriller. I'm guessing that's the word, I have no idea. Rosie and Chad Lowen are barely making ends meet in New York City when they receive life-changing news. Chad's late uncle has left them his luxury apartment at the historic Windermere in glamorous Murray Hill. With its pewter elegant and impeccably uniformed doorman, the building is the epitome of old New York charm. One would almost never suspect the dark history lurking behind its perfectly maintained facade. At first, the building is an eclectic, and its eclectic tenants couldn't feel more welcoming. But as the Lowens settle into their new home, Rosie starts to suspect that there's more to the Windermere than meets the eye. Why is the doorman ever present? Why are there cameras everywhere? And why have so many gruesome crimes occurred there throughout the years? When one of the neighbors turns up dead, Rosie must get to the truth about the Windermere before she too falls under its dangerous spell. And this next one is That's Not My Name by Megan Leigh. Leigh sounds more right, but could be wrong on that. It was a mistake to trust him. Shivering and bruised, a teen wakes up on the side of a dirt road with no memory of how she got there or who she is. The police don't know where she came from until a frantic man arrives at the station. He's been searching for her for hours. He has her school ID, her birth certificate, and even family photos. He is her father. Her name is Mary, or so he says. When Lola slammed the car door and stormed off into the night, Drew thought they just needed some time to cool off. Except Lola disappeared. Now his friends, the sheriff, and the whole town are convinced Drew murdered his girlfriend. Forget proving his innocence. He needs to find her. The longer Lola is missing, the fewer leads there are to follow, and the more danger they are both in. And now these next two books that I have to show you are purely because of social media. This one I was scrolling through. I don't remember if it was Amazon or Goodreads. I don't remember which one. Some sort of social media. Could have been Instagram. Don't know. And I saw this, and it is the cover that drew me in. And this book looks like a VHS tape. This takes me back to my childhood in the late 80s, early 90s with Disney VHS tapes. And this is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. And then here's the back. It says, rated T for thrilling. And then you've got to see under the cover. So there's the back. So this was a complete see it on Instagram, fell in love with the cover. Well, Instagram or some other social media. I could be wrong. It might not be Instagram. But either way, whatever social media I found this on, fell in love with the cover, and then had to get it. So I have no idea what this is about. So I'm going to find out right now. After their mother passes, 3 estranged siblings reunite to sort out her estate. Beth, the oldest, never left home. She stayed with her mom, caring for her until the very end. Nicole, the middle child, has been kept at arm's length due to her ongoing battle with a serious drug addiction. Michael, the youngest, lives out of state and hasn't been back to their small Wisconsin town since their father ran out on them 7 years before. While going through their parents' belongings, the siblings stumble upon a collection of home videos and decide to revisit those happier memories. However, the nostalgia is cut short when one of the VHS tapes reveals a night back in 1999 that none of them have any recollection of. On screen, their father appears covered in blood. What follows is a dead body and a pact between their parents to get rid of it, before the video abruptly ends. Beth, Nicole, and Michael must now decide whether to leave the past in the past or uncover the dark secret their mother took to her grave. 1999. That was at the end of my freshman year of high school and start of my sophomore year of high school. So 9th to 10th grade. Yeah, 1999. Oh, good memories. Anyway, okay, now this one, social media, it's actually due to YouTube. Someone commented on one of my videos and asked if I have read this book, and I said no. I looked into this book and it sounds interesting, and so I got a copy, and this person would like me to do a review. When I get to this book, I will, which it sounds good. I'm really hoping to get to this sooner rather than later. So this was a viewer recommend type of a situation, and it sounds really good. So this one is Taming Seraphine by Gigi Sticks. And I love the cover, gives me mafia vibes. Or it could be law enforcement with the gun, but... and the handcuffs. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. They captured me, broke me, molded me into their perfect weapon. They made me murder and seduce strangers until a hitman killed my captors and set me free. Then underneath Leroy it says, I rescued a girl from a basement thinking she was innocent, but I brought home a serial killer whose darkness borders on insanity. Now I need to tame her murderous instincts before I become her next victim. Seraphine is reckless, unstable, and likely to get us both destroyed. Every instinct says I should end her, but she's too captivating to resist. Each day she draws me deeper into her web, her allure stripping my self-control, but I'm harboring secrets treacherous enough to add me to her list of men to slaughter. And then underneath Seraphine it says, Leroy is dark, deadly, and dangerously attractive. I don't know what he wants, but resisting him is impossible, and I'm ready to slay him at the first sign of betrayal. When a dark figure from the past rises from the shadows, wanting to reclaim me, I'm forced to trust a man who might stab me in the back. This sounds good, and so I hope to get to this one relatively soon so that I can do a review, but it just sounds really good. And then the cover, like the start of each chapter are black pages with white print. And they have like skulls, so those are skulls there and then skulls over here. So yeah. These next three that I have here are all pre-orders, and so these one have come in. And this first one is, I love the cover of this, and that is The Housewitch by Sydney J. Shields. And this one sounds like it'll be very, very sweet. The Housewitch is cursed to never find true love, but when she meets a young woman who doesn't believe in magic, she dares to hope for more. And I believe this is LGBT just from that little synopsis. Marigold Claude has always preferred the company of meadow spirits to the suitors who've tried to woo her. So when her grandmother whisks her away to the tiny isle of Innisfree with an offer to train her as the next Housewitch, she accepts immediately. But her newfound magic and independence come with a price. No one can fall in love with the Housewitch. Then Lottie Burke, a notoriously grumpy skeptic, shows up on her doorstep, and Marigold can't resist the challenge to prove to her that magic is real, even at the risk of losing her home and her heart. Now this next pre-order, book 2 is available to pre-order now, but I did have that on pre-order, but I have canceled a bunch of pre-orders because it's like I really need to try to slow down due to space issues. So I canceled that because I thought, I've got the first one, let me make sure I like the writing and I like the book series first before I get the second one. So if I like this one, then I will pre-order it if I get to this book before the pre-order is done. And I think the pre-order if I remember right, the pre-order for this one, all the books that I had pre-ordered have sprayed edges, and that's no exception with the next book in this series. This one is called Can't Spell Treason Without T, another LGBT, specifically Sapphic, I believe. This is written by Rebecca Thorne, and this is Tomes and Tea, Book 1, and it says that this is a cozy fantasy steeped with love. All Renya and Chiante want is to open a bookshop that serves tea while firelight drifts between the rafters. But Renya works as one of the Queen's private guards, and Chiante is the most powerful mage in existence. Leaving their lives isn't so easy. But after an assassin takes Renya hostage, she decides she's thoroughly done risking her life for a self-centered queen. Meanwhile, Chiante, I'm guessing, I could be saying that wrong, has been waiting for a chance to flee responsibility. All the better that her girlfriend is on board. Together they settle in Tani, a town nestled in the icy tundra near Dragon Country, and open the shop of their dreams. What follows is a cozy tale of mishaps, mysteries, and a murderous queen throwing the realm's biggest temper tantrum, while these two women discover just what they mean to each other and the world. This next one, love the sprayed edges on this. 5 Broken Blades by Mia Corland. Again, this was another pre-order simply because mostly the sprayed edges. And then there's the cover. I don't think there's anything on the back. Let me double check. Yeah, no, it's just a black. Okay. 'Tis the season for treason. The king of Yusan must die. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective, to kill the god king June. He has it coming. Under his merciless, immortal hand, the noble flourish, while the poor and innocent are imprisoned, ruined, or sold. And now each of the 5 blades will come for him. Each has tasted bitterness, from the hired hitman seeking atonement, a lovely assassin who seeks freedom, or even the prince banished for his cruel crimes. None can resist the sweet, icy lure of vengeance. They can agree on murder. They can agree on treachery. But for these 5 killers, each versed in deception, lies, and betrayal, it's not easy to forge an alliance. To survive, they'll have to find a way to trust each other. But only one can take the crown. Let the best liar win. And these last books, I only have 6 more left to tell you. I have decided I'm not going to continue coloring my hair, mostly because I really don't care. Yes, it was fun. I've always wanted to do it, and now I've done it. I've done it twice. I would rather have the money for my hair for my nails, and so I had money saved up to do another round of coloring my hair. Plus, my back is in really bad shape, so to sit at a hair salon in those chairs that aren't the best and offer like no support for hours to color my hair is not good right now. I need to be able to just walk in, get a quick trim, and walk out. So like great clips is probably what I'm going to be doing for a while. So I'm going to let the color go. And then on good days, I'll get a trim, or I'll go and hopefully be able to get my nails done. I feel better with getting my nails done than I do my hair. It's just how I am. I prefer to get my nails done. So the money that I had set aside for my hair, I went and did one more trip to Barnes & Noble for this month and got 6 more books. So I have The Rocky Road to Ruin by Mary Allen. This is book number 1 in an ice cream shop mystery, and this is a cozy mystery. Riley Rhodes, travel food blogger and librarian at the CIA, makes a bittersweet return to her childhood home of Penman, Connecticut, land of dairy farms and covered bridges, for a funeral. Now, in this case, CIA is Culinary Institute of America, not like the going guns blazing type of a thing. Despite the circumstances, Riley's trip home is sprinkled with reunions with old friends, visits to her father's cozy bookshop on the town green, and joyful hours behind the counter at the beloved, utterly delicious ice cream shop. It feels like a time to help her friend Coraline rebuild after her mother's death, and for Riley to do a bit of her own reflecting after a botched undercover mission in Italy. After all, it was always good to be home. Or maybe it is CIA, not Culinary Institute of America, but the going guns blazing secretive thing. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. I'm assuming CIA because it's food related. or Culinary Institute of America. I could be wrong on that. Continuing on, it says, but Coraline and her brother Mike have to decide what to do with the assets they've inherited, the ice cream shop as well as the farm they grew up on. And they've never seen eye to eye. Trouble begins to swirl as Riley is spooked by reports of a stranger camping behind the farm and by the odd behavior of the shop's mascot, Caroline's snooty Persian Sprinkles. When Mike turns up dead in the barn the morning after the funeral, the peace and quiet of Penman seems upended for good. Can Riley find the killer before another body gets scooped? And the animal on this one is right back here. It's a black cat. Don't know how well you're going to see it, but it is a black cat. Up next, I have another cozy mystery, Bait and Witch by Angela M. Sanders. This is book number 1 in Kensington Mystery. I could be wrong on that. Oh no, that's Kensington Books. I'm not sure what the name of this series is called. Does it say it on the inside? The Library, the Witch, and the Murder. It just says it's first in a new series, so that's that one. It says, librarian Josie Way moved to small town Oregon to lay low. Instead, thanks to newfound magic abilities and a killer on the loose, she's leapt out of the frying pan and into a cauldron of trouble. Josie Way loved working among the Library of Congress's leather-scented stacks until she uncovered corruption and made herself a target. As Wilfred, Oregon's new librarian, Josie can stay undercover until the case goes to court. But life in this little town isn't as subdued as she expected. The library, housed in a Victorian mansion, is slated to be bulldozed. Still digesting the news that her safe haven is about to become scrap lumber, Josie discovers a body in the woods. Almost as shocking, Josie learns that she's descended from a long line of witches, and her powers have suddenly sprung to life. With help from a spoiled alley cat, who just may be her familiar, Josie's thumbing through a catalog of suspects, hoping she can conjure a way to save her library and her life. Up next, I've been wanting another book by Donna Tartt, and so this is The Little Friend. I really liked The Secret History, and she has 3 books out, and so this will be my second one from this author. The setting is Alexandria, Mississippi, where one Mother's Day, a little boy named Robin Cleve Dreyfusness was found hanging from a tree in his parents' yard. 12 years later, Robin's murder is still unsolved and his family remains devastated. So it is that Robin's sister Harriet, unnervingly bright, insufferably determined, and unduly influenced by the fiction of Kipling and Robert Louis Stevenson, sets out to unmask his killer. Aided only by her worshipful friend Helly, Harriet crosses her town's rigid lines to face and cast and burrows of race and caste and burrows deep into her family's history of loss. I really liked Donna Tartt's writing in The Secret History, so I'm excited for this. We're on the final 3 books. This one is a romance, and this is Unsteady by Peyton Curran. It's the figure skating ice skates that got it for me. One, I like the cover, but it just have good memories of growing up watching the Olympics, the ice skating with my mom, and then her calling my grandma and be like, oh my gosh, did you see that lady fall? Poor lady. Oh, we wanted this person to win, not that one. So I have some fond memories. So that alone, those ice skates is what drew me in. Rise Koteski is back. At least he's supposed to be. During the last year's Frozen Four, the Waterfall University hockey captain and NHL legacy took a brutal hit that left him with a concussion and a new discomfort on the ice. Plagued by nightmares and panic attacks every time he attempts to skate, Rice wonders if he'll ever play again or if he'll ever want to. Sadie Brown is staying focused this semester no matter what. Currently drowning in debt, custody hearings for her younger brothers, and skating practices, she's trying to make it to the next day. A Spitfire figure skater known for her bad attitude and frequent disappearing acts, Sadie has a reputation on campus, and it's not a pretty one. When she accidentally witnesses one of the Golden Boy hockey captain's panic attacks and attempts to help him, a strange sort of understanding strikes up between them. No questions asked, just comfort. But Rice finds himself drawn to Sadie, where he feels empty, a shell of the man and player he was before. Sadie is so full of everything, it bursts from her. Every emotion she feels seems like it's blasted at max volume. Rice is desperate to feel anything Sadie wants to stop feeling so much. but healing doesn't mix with secrets, and they're both skating on thin ice. This next one I got mostly because I have Scottish ancestry, and I was really drawn to this because of the word kilt in it, because of my Scottish ancestry. That was my justification for picking this particular one, and that's Kilt Trip by Alexandra Kiley. So I do like things that take place in Scotland and Ireland. I do have Irish ancestry as well. Yeah, I like reading books that have a lot of my ancestry. So Wales or the Welsh area, Indigenous, Spain, I have some ancestry, Russian, German. So, and we think Dutch, but we might not be positive on that actually anymore. So not sure on that, but everything else 100% positive. So Kilt Trip. Ready or Scott? Globetrotter Addie McRae always follows her wanderlust. As a travel consultant, she jet sets around the world, anywhere but Scotland. But when she's sent on assignment to help a struggling family run tour company in the Highlands and save her own job, Addie packs away her emotional baggage and turns on the professional charm. Logan Sutherland's as rugged as the land he loves, and his greatest joy is sharing the beauty of Scotland's hidden gems, even if it means a wee bit of red ink on the company's bottom line. The last thing Logan wants is some American expert pushing tourist traps and perpetuating myths about the Loch Ness Monster, especially when Addie never leaves her desk to experience the country for herself. As they wage an office war, Logan discovers Addie's secret connection to Scotland, a handful of faded Polaroids of her late mother. Hoping for a truce, he creates a private tour of the places in the pictures to help Addie find closure and appreciate the enchantment in less traveled destinations, never expecting the off-limits attractions sparking between them. But Addie's contract is almost up, and magic won't pay the bills. They can't afford distractions, but how can Addie do her job if she hasn't explored all Scotland, and Logan has to offer? And the last book is actually a combination of 3. It's a manga series, and it says that this is the complete manga collection, A Story of 7 Lives by Shirakawa Jin, I'm guessing is how that is said. And as you can see, it's cats, and there's more cats on the back, just cats. It was just say no more. I saw the cover and then it was cats, and I'm like, it's sold, I'm taking it home. Nanao used to be a house cat, but after tragedy struck, he was abandoned on the rough streets of Tokyo. Now, alongside his best friend and fellow stray, Machi, Nanao has to fight every day just to get by. Aside from foraging for food and finding a safe place to sleep, Nanao and Machi must remain vigilant about all sorts of dangers, including humans who want the stray cats gone. When a woman named Yoshino starts feeding the neighborhood cats, Nanao reluctantly bonds with her, but the woman has emotional scars and a past entwined with Nanao's. Can Nanao help her heal and perhaps heal himself in the process? So I didn't even read the synopsis on that. I was just like, it's about cats, it's a manga about cats, I'm sold. So that's it. Let me know if you have read any of these books or books from any of these authors. Is there a book that you acquired this month that you are really excited to get to or hope to get to soon, or to acquire soon? Let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below, and until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I will talk to you later.